When doing local SEO, it's important to understand the concept of listing propagation. Similar to how crawling and indexing works with a traditional website, the listing propagation process is how your business gets distributed amongst all of the various locations where listing data is presented. For example, in map search results, in applications, and elsewhere. Anywhere that has the listing information show up, it shows up because it's been distributed, and we use the term propagated. It's been propagated into those various locations. So in this lesson, we're going to describe how this listing propagation concept works. Let's start with just a broad understanding of the diversity of this, what we call the ecosystem of listings. So you can see in this image, which is intentionally complicated, that there are a number of different players and different software companies out there that distribute and consume business listings. Here you'll see names on this chart like Axiom and Factual and Newstar, Local Ease, Infogroup. These might not be familiar businesses and companies, but we interact with them on a daily basis because they go out, identify, and try to find new listings and then populate those out into all different manner of other locations. You can see based upon the arrows that Infogroup, for example, will service City Search and MapQuest and TomTom, right? And Factual will inform map results in Apple and Yelp and elsewhere. There's this constant finding and updating of different business listings across all these nodes. One of the important things to consider here is how many different providers of this information there are, and consider how challenging that must be to figure out which one of these listings has the correct information when it's being written from so many different sources. So the ecosystem is a very complicated place to try to find what is the most accurate business listing. Let's look at this from the perspective of search. So how business propagation occurs from a search perspective. So let's say that this blue square represents you, the business, and you have a physical location, name, and phone number. That would be your listing. You then decide to go out and use whatever aggregators and amplifiers or directories to get the word out about your business. So for example, maybe your listing gets picked up by one of these large aggregators or amplifiers, right? The Infogroups, Axioms, and Factuals of the world. Or maybe you and your business partners go out and create listings in directories such as Yelp or TripAdvisor, whatever is most relevant for your industry, right? All of these places together, your physical location, your business listing on Google, Yelp, Infogroup, all of these represent the universe of places where your listing occurs, right? So your name, address, phone number exists in all these places. They are then distributed to multiple others because of that ecosystem relationship. Now, the search engine, because it's constantly going out and crawling and indexing pages, is looking for new listings itself. And it's going to look at the aggregators and amplifiers. It's going to look at the directories and start comparing the information that it has. When a query takes place where your business might be relevant and has a decent ranking, then it's going to show that listing on a results page. However, what if some of these sources don't match? What if we have propagation issues? Let's take this example. If you are the search engine and you are looking at a bunch of different pages and you see that all of the information associated with a particular business listing is consistent, then you're going to have a high confidence or a high degree of confidence that the data is correct, and therefore you'll show it within the results page. However, search engines, because they derive their value from providing correct information at all times, is going to be less inclined to provide the business listing on a results page if there's inconsistent data. So what if all of a sudden we have this? You have created, or the business has created, a listing in multiple locations, and over time, maybe the phone number has changed or the address has changed, and slowly but surely some of these different listings have errors or inconsistencies amongst them. The search engine will then say, I have low confidence that this data is correct, and then I will not display that listing on a results page because I don't want to display bad information to people. These, or the root causes of these, are often referred to as propagation issues.